Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I would like to show you how we can implement ls command in C. So first of all, I have my GitHub code spaces. I am using C and C++ extensions, and everybody can follow along with GitHub code spaces. Let's start by seeing what ls is. As you can see, when I type ls in my bash, I can see that the list of directions I have. If I say ls myprintf, I can see what is inside of my printf folder. And you can also check the manual for the ls, typing man ls in the bash. It is list directory contents. You can give options and files. Options are A for all, and there's other options, but in this version I will implement only A and T, which A for all files including hidden files, and T for modification time. And there's other possible options, but I will not go that far. And of course we will be able to have the file option. Also, you can check the Linux manual page in Google, or just search it, and these are the same but like easier to read maybe for some of us. So first let's click from that, and I will say touch my ls.c, and again I will have one C and one H file. C for source, H is a header file of course. And let's think what we need to do. So first, of course, we will parse arguments, which will be the option A, maybe T, and then we will check for directories. If there's only ls, it means the current directory. If it is something with ls-dir1, it will check the directory we need to check. Also, we need to sort everything alphabetically or by time. We need to check for that, and then we will print everything, and when we are done we will free everything. So yeah, and I would say this is the simple path we will follow. I suggest you to try to code it yourself to understand what we do. And I will start by saying include my ls.h. And we will have our main file, which will have int argc and char star star argv, and as I said before, we first parse the arguments, then we will check for the paths, and we will sort them step by step. I am stepping on my header file, so let's first define if and def my ls h, and we define my LSH, and of course we are ending the if. So we will have some header files. I will say stdio.h for beginning. We will add others later. And now I need a structure to hold command line options, which will be A and T for me, which will be all the files and time. I'm making a structure, struct. I will call it as options. It will have bool show all, which is for A, and it will have bool short time, which will be for option T, and I am calling it options underscore T. And of course we need the bool header file. Let's edit quickly. Include std bool.h, yes. So in this as options we will have our we will parse inputs and check for if we have the options. So I will show you options t ops equals, we will have a function to parse the options, and we will give it the argc and argv, which will make our, we will have a simple parse options function. Let's it will return the type of options t, parse options, which will receive int argc char star star argv, and again we will have options t options. For default we will make them false, also 0 if you'd like to call it, and same with all and time will be false as a default. And then we will scan all arguments for flags. We will check if we have LST or LSA. And yeah, so that's how we will know if we have these as flags. We will have a for loop for size ti, I is less than like c, I plus plus, and we will check if argv I of 0 is equals to line. As you can see, before a or t we have a line, so we are checking for it. If we have that, it means it's an option argument, and in that case we will have another for loop checking for size t j equals 1, because we will skip the first one. We will skip the line and we will continue by a or t or whatever it possibly can be. A of j not equals, if it's not an empty, it's not empty, we will have it in our for loop, and we will check for if argv I of j is a, which would mean opts dot show all equals to, which will mean if we have a after the line, we want to see all options, as if same with argv of I and j equals t. Oops. Same logic. In that case, it will mean opt.show time equals to, and else it would mean like invalid option. We can just say printf my ls invalid option, and we can just print char, and I will just give it argv I of j. Okay, so first we will check if we have a or t, and or we have invalid option, and then when we are done with this, we will just return opts. So this is our option parser, and this was the first step of our program. So first I will make a Makefile so we can see if everything is working, and I will just copy and paste an existing Makefile because I don't want to do it again, but it is simple. We have we will use GCC compiler, we have flags of vol vector var, and our object will be my ls.o, and when I say make, what's the problem? Makefile 8 missing separate. Okay, that's not a problem. Let me see, what's my mistake? GCC, ls. Okay, I'll just copy and paste another one. Yes, now it's working, and because of we use what file, we can just say void ops again make. Okay, what's the problem in the line 18? Okay, we can just change this to int. It will not matter. Yes, and if I say my ls, we see nothing, but we can print options. It will be %b, %b, printf bool, %t. Okay. And ops dot short time, ops dot show all. Need this. If I say make, if I call my ls, it is nothing. If I say a, it is 1. If I say t, it's 1 and 0. If I say t and a, if I say a and t, if I say at, yes, it is working. So as you can see, I am parsing my options, which was the first step of this project. So we can see it is working. If I give an invalid option, it just prints. So let's add a new line here. And also in my Makefile, this is from an old project, so I'll just delete the test. We don't need it for this one. If I say make today, my ls dot s, invalid option s, and it looks nice like this. Okay, so this can stay there. Second step we will check for the paths. So I will have a function called gather paths. And to get the paths, I will need some arrays to store this and paths. So let's have a char star this argc, which will, what's the problem? I made a mistake there. Let's fix it. argc. Okay, so we will have array of string, which will be char star this argc, and then we will have another for none this. It will again have the argc elements, and we will need to count the directories. So at the beginning it will be 0, and same for non-directories, it will be 0 again. And getter paths, it will be a function that will get the argc, argv. It will check it will get the array of non-ders, number of non-ders, address to the number, so we can modify later. Again, we will give it this and the count. So let's start the function. So we can declare the functions in the header file. I can do it quickly. I will go and say function declarations. This will be the first one. We'll add the Makefile, and getter pets will be the second. It will be int argc char star star argv. Also we can write it like this, so we can see it easily. Again, this will be char star star numbers. This will be int number counts. Same here, char star star dirs, and int it is data, so this will be the pointer. Yes, I give data, so I am checking for the pointer to that one. And this is my, and of course it will return integer. I forgot that. So in getter pets, at the beginning we will have the number of total pets that we return at the end. We will first check how many pets we need to work on it, and the address to the count equals 0. I am using addresses and pointers, so when I access the pointer of this, it will automatically change in this part. I don't need to return it. I am only returning the total numbers. And again, number count is also 0, and we will check for the arguments. We will skip the argv 0 because it will be this one, so we can just skip that. I will have a for loop int I equals 1, I is less than argc, I plus plus, and if argv I of 0 equals line, I will just continue because it will mean skip the options. So, and what did I say? Let's also give it a quick explanation of what it does. Collect the non-option arguments, like file or the names or something like that. Separate them, return total none of directories. If no pets, we will go by default, which is just the current directories, and it returns, yeah, it returns number of total directories. And of course we are checking for argvs, we are skipping the first one, we are checking if it's an option. In that case we are also skipping the option. And then we can start try opening it as a directory, and for that we will use dir temp dir. We will use open dir, and we will give it the argvi as well needed. So I need header for this directories, which was I think it was dir end.h. Yes, it is in the directory entity header. Yeah, so we are creating a temporary dir, and we are checking if temp dir exists. If it exists, it will be 1. In that case, it's valid directory, and then we will close dir and temp dir, and this point to directory count equals argv of I. So basically we will check if it's a valid directory. If it is valid, it will be our directory that we need to check later, and then we will increment the directory count by 1. Also we will increment the total number of directories. I hope this part makes sense. It's a little bit complicated, but just a little bit. And else, if it is not a directory, that means file or invalid. In that case, I will have my struct. It will be stat.st, and so stat.st is from include system stat.h, which does is man stat. It displays the file or file system status. We will check for that. So I will use if else stat argv of I and st stats of the file equals to 0, which means it's existing. It's man else stat. As you can see, we are using system stat.h. Returns information about the file, buffer point to stat buff, no permission, stat. Okay, so in this case we are checking if it's existing, which means else stat we are giving the argument I, which will be in our file, or if it's a file and it checks for buffer stats, and if it's equals to 0, that means it's existing. It returns 0 success. So it will be non-directory, and the count will be the argv of I, And same with the other one, we are incrementing the number count by 1. And of course we are also incrementing the total numbers. And if it is not an file, in that case it will mean invalid pet, and we will print saying my ls cannot access, which will be %s. We will give it the name as a string, and we will say %s, of course new line. I will give it argv of I that we cannot access, and actually this is enough. We don't need to print anything else. We can just say we cannot access this pet. So we are checking for pets, and if no valid means non-option args are provided, we will just go to default, which will be dot, and if total equals to 0, it means there's we couldn't find any path or directory to increment our total. We will say this 0 will be the dot current directory, and then we will increment directory count. Now we will make the directory count as 1. It will mean we have only one directory, and total will be 1, 2, and we will return total. So I guess this should work. And in our main we can say int total equals getter pets. So getter pets gets the collects the non-option arguments like file and dyname, separate them, return total of directories, and if no pets, we are returning to the current, so dot directory. Just like ls dot means my current directory. So let's see if it's how it looks. Printf. I will say this %s, I will give it this 0, so this will give me the first directory. I don't think it will compile, yes, because we didn't use I can also say another printf statement saying total %d, new line, of course, total, here's also a new line, so let's keep that. If I say my ls, it prints my current directory as dot, yes, this is correct. If I give it an invalid directory, it will say my ls cannot access this random directory, which is good. If I give it a valid directory, let's say in this case what I have, I will create a new folder called test. If I say test, yes, our directory is test, and we have total of 1 directory. If I say test and dot, we have total of 2 directories. I only print the first one, so it is the test, but we also have the dot directory. So we are able to get the paths that we need to access, which is nice. And we made getter paths function. We also declared in our header file, and it seems to work fine. It returns the total number of paths, and it also gives directories I need. Okay, we can continue with the next steps. Okay, so we now have that. I can uncomment this. These we don't need that. Now we have our paths. We need to sort them lexicographically. If you don't know what lexicographic is, it's like a fancy word for alphabetical order, and it will. We can sort this alphabetically or lexicographically, as you like you want to call it. So I will have a if the count is bigger than 1. If you have more than 1 non-directories, we need to sort them alphabetically. We will use a simple bubble sort, because we don't have so many. I don't think we will have a lot of data to sort. So I'm saying int I equals 0. I is less than non-directory count minus 1, because we are starting from, we don't want to sort the last element, and I plus, and we have another loop. It was int j equals 0, and it will be non-dir count minus I and minus 1, and j plus, and we will check if str compare non-dirs of j, non-dirs j plus 1 is less than 0. In that case, so we will check if alphabetically which one is so str compare. I need to include header file. Include what was this string header file? I forgot. Oh yeah, it's string.h. I'm getting old. Okay, so string.h, which now I have my str compare. It compares characters of string 1 and string 2, and I think if they're equal, it returns 0. If alphabetically the first one is yeah, we will see. I don't always remember these things. We can just change, like if it's not correct, we can just say less than 0. It's not a problem. And of course we are using bubble sort, so we will have a temp equals non-dirs of j, non this of j will be the non this of j plus 1, and non this j plus 1 will be the temp. So I don't know if you know how bubble sort works, but this is like very simple. Oops. This is a very simple explanation. Bubble sort for non-due array. And we sorted non-dirs alphabetically. Now we will sort dirs alphabetically. And I am just copy and paste because I don't want to write everything again, but it is the same idea. I just need to make non-dirs dir, and everything else is the same. We just Ctrl D, delete. Okay. In VS Code, you can use Ctrl D for choosing multiple instances of the same line of code you want to choose. Like, so I can just say Ctrl D and I can choose all the dirs. In this case, I just deleted the non part. So basically, we are also sorting dirs alphabetically. That's the default printing of the ls. If I had like different folders of A and B and C, if I say ls, they will be in the order of A, B, and C. But if I check by time, it changes because the last one is C. So, but yeah, for normal ls, we always sort alphabetically. Okay, so now we get our directories, non-directories, we sort them, and we can continue. I don't know, I am just trying to make sure I don't have any mistakes, because now if I can fix the mistake, it will be easier than in the future. Everything seems fine, and just compile. Yeah, I think it will work, probably. Okay, so let's continue to the third step. So first was the parse options, second get the paths, and third will be print non-dirs. First we will print the non-directories. When we say ls, we can see directories are shown as in the green box, and in this case I will in my ls version I will print the non-directories first in their own lines, and then I will make a blank line and listing the directories afterwards. So maybe it's better to then blank line and list this after. So I will have a for loop int I equals 0, I is less than non-directory count, and I plus plus. So I will just print the file name, which is like ls-1. Let's show how it looks. Yes, when I say ls-1, I am printing the directories and files in separate lines. So let's just say print f %s new line and non-use of I, and if none the count is larger than 0 and the count is larger than 0, we will have a new line between them. If I say make, what was it? Yeah, let's uncomment this and uncomment this. If I say make my ls, and I will see the problem and be back with you. Alright, after a quick session of problem finding, I noticed some important problems. First of all, in my for loop, I forgot to say j is less than this, and same here. And after declaring my this and non directories, I will say memset just to be sure, and size of this will be initialized to null, and same for non-this. So if I am trying to access them at some point, they will be null at the beginning. And also another problem I noticed, I set short time, but it's sort time. My bad, it's not a big mistake, but it's better this way. Yes. And this time when I say make and my ls, yes, it is better. Now I can at least see my directories are null. And let's go back to getter pets. Also another problem now I notice, it's not getter pet, it's getter pets. Another typo I made. Okay, also fixed this. Okay, it looks good. Now when I say make today and my ls, okay, this is better. And now also when I try to give it input as non-directories as the ones I have, C, O, and H files, I get it in alphabetical order, C, H, O. So our bubble sort is also working correctly for non-directories, and we can continue for I think this is enough for this video. In the next video we will checking or what to print for each directory. We will read the contents, sort them, and print them. And this is all for this video. We made the basics. We are parsing the arguments. We are checking if we have A or T. We are getting the paths. We are making sure if they are existing or non-existing. Yes, we are checking if we can access the arguments we give to the function, and we are checking if the directories or files are invalid. As you can see, this is invalid here. I can also give A, B, and C. As you can see, I have total of 6 paths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is just an error. It works fine. My first directory is A, my first non-directory is my ls.c, and they are all sorted in correct order. So this was all for this video. I will make a GitHub repository for the code, and see you in the second part.